G'day again. Welcome back to Dad vs. Son and our playthrough of Panzer Grenadier from Avalanche Press, the Kokoda campaign, third introductory scenario. We're about to go on with the 0315 turn, with the last turn at 0400. So far, the Japanese have lost 2 steps. The Australians haven't lost anybody, and the Australians currently have 12 victory points against 0 for the Japanese. In the last exciting episode, the Japanese took a bit of a hammering up here, moved these troops up to here, started to bring these troops down around this way as well, and the lieutenant with his company down here moved into the light jungle, and is starting to make his way up. The plan was for the lieutenant here to cut off the retreat of the Australians back to Daniki. But what I'm thinking is to bring them up, or I might even just cut loose an engineer platoon or something and get them to take over the airfields, whilst the others cut off the retreat, sort of thing. I probably screwed up big time with moving the lieutenant and his mob here. I think I should have just kept them coming up as a reserve force, so I'll probably end up chucking them back up that way. But I'll see how it plays out at the moment. So we've got the Australian forces here in the village of Kokoda. We've got a company of infantry here with the lieutenant colonel and the lieutenant. And then we've got the other 3 leaders here with a short company of infantry. So let's see what we get to work with. Initiative, Australians on 2, Japanese on 3. Morale, as you can see, 7-6 against 9-8. So we've had very lucky dice rolls for the Australians at the moment. The one thing I also forgot to do last time was get the Japanese to use their off-board artillery. So I'll try and remember to not be an idiot and do that. So let's go. Australians first. 2 plus 2 is 4, and Japanese 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 to 4 is a 5 difference. 2.5, 3 activations for the Japanese. So let's look at their first activation. I'm going to put 3 up there. Okay. Right. Well, I think the first thing we need to do is to fix this up. There's not much else we can do with that. So we need to do this. So we're going to try and recover here. So the captain first, he's an 8. So he needs a 7 or less and gets it. This disrupted unit is a 9. So he needs an 8 or less. Oh, and fails miserably and becomes demoralized. And the last guy is a 9, which is an 8, so he needs a 7 or less. And he gets it, so he becomes disrupted. So we had a little bit of improvement and a little bit of crap there. So that's their first activation. Second activation, I think what we're going to do is we're going to chuck some artillery here. So we're going to chuck the arty on here and then follow it up with the lieutenant shooting into here. Or do I bring... No, I don't want to move them because I'll come under fire. Okay, so we've got the arty, so a bombardment of 8. Target is town or entrenchment? No. Target is breach jungle? No. Target is dug in, yes. So we're down 1. Target's not any of that stuff. It's not friendly fire. It's not loaded trucks. It's not. Target is fired on when spotting range 1 or 2. No logistics, not inefficient, no minefields. It's not spotted by the firing unit. Doesn't have 3 combat units, and it's not adjacent. So we're actually down to the 5. And we get a 7, of course, which does absolutely nothing. So that is done. And that is our second activation. Our third activation is we're going to fire with these units into here. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7. I chuck that all the way over there. It's direct fire. Or do we go... If we jump in there, they're going to get first fire. They've got 8 with no bonuses. I've got 7. Ugh. Difficult. Now, that is a question. If we jumped in there, they're going to fire first on assault combat. They've got 8, which is on the 5. Let's just have a look at this. Counter trench. Oh, let's move a little bit. No. -2 uphill against cliff. No. Defending units, woods, jungle, heavy. No, they're in light jungle. All units of attacking side have higher morale. No, they don't get that. The leader, so they started here, they go up to the 9 column. They're not demoralized. No. Side defending, elevation slope from attacks. +1, side defending. No, they're not. Side includes no. Okay. So they would go on the 9 column if we, as a first fire. So they'd have a 9 on us there. Here they'd have a 7 if they shot back at us. +2. Yeah. I think we're going to go in. We're going to go in. Let's do it. Okay, so this is fire movement. These guys will activate for first fire, so they don't need to activate as such. It's not a activation. Or is it an activation? It's an activation, but they're not marked as activated. Let's get this right. Okay. So first fire for them, like we said, it's on the 5. They've got 8. So it's on the 5, and they get a +1 for their leader. So they're on the 9 column. Oh, they get a 10, which is an M1. Okay. Righto, an M1. So a 7 or less for the lieutenant. Oh, he gets a 10. You're joking me. Nope, we're not joking. Well, this just died in the bum big time, didn't it? He's demoralized. And then the engineer is a 9. So an 8 or less, he's fine. And the infantry, an 8 or less, and he's fine. Okay, so they've already jumped in there. So let's just bring up the assault map and transfer them all over. Don't worry, I am slowly getting there. Okay. Bring all those over. Put that in there. Just sorting out the markers. You don't really need to see that. Okay, so this is what we have. So the lieutenant's been demoralized. Now we're doing our fire. So we have an 8. Let's just pull that back over. On assault combat. So we start on the 5. Nothing there, nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. All units have higher morale. We do. So we go up to the 9 column. We don't have an undemoralized leader now, so we don't get that. We're Japanese, we go up to the 13 column. Excuse me. And that is it. Side defending higher elevations, slow pecs. Well, in fact, no, we're not going to get that either. Okay, so that's it. So we're on the 13. Oh, we roll a 12 on the 13. 1 loss. Okay. Let's bring this back over. Okay, so 1 loss. We'll flip this guy here. I need to mark all of these as spotted. I've been forgetting to put the spotting markers on. Okay, and then we need to do an M2. So we'll do the lieutenant first. It's down. So he's an 8, so that's a 6 or less. And he fails and is disrupted. A 6 or less passes. The sergeant is a 7 or less, passes. The infantry is a 7, so that's a 5 or less, fails and is disrupted. And the reduced guy is a 6, so that's a 4 or less. Oh, and he is demoralized. Okay, now we have a leader loss check. So a 2 or a 3. It's going to have to be between these 2. And this is, the bloke is disrupted, so it'll be against him, I believe. So a 2 or a 3, and we have a leader loss. No, we do not. Okay, so we have a step loss for the Australians. And this is done. And we have 1 more activation for the Japanese. No, we don't. That's their 3rd, because they fired the arty into here. So we're over to the Australians. So we have a couple of choices. We can blow them away here first. Japanese aren't going to be able to do anything here. So we can either attack here, or we can... This guy has got to go for a recover anyways. So I think we may as well go for a recovery on all of these. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll activate this guy, and this guy for a recovery. The lieutenant's first. So we have an 8. So he needs a 7 or less and gets it. This guy is a 7, so he needs a 6 or less. Fails and is demoralized. And this guy is a 6, a 5, so he needs a 4 or less. Yee. Oh, he gets it. And there we go. Okay, so this guy, and this guy have activated. Right. Okay, so that can go away. Nothing else is going to happen here this turn for that. And we're back over to the Japanese. So yeah, I think we need to bring this bloke up this way again. He needs to be able to bolster these. So we're going to move. We're going to just try and move back onto the track. So we need to do a disorientation roll because we're in jungle. And we roll a 3. We want to go this way. We actually end up down here. So they end up down here. They've gotten totally turned around and they've got no idea where they're going. So it looks like they're going to follow up this way. Okay. So now it's the third activation for the Australians. So everything after this will be fog of war rolls. So I think we activate up here. May as well just activate the lot. Not going to make any difference. I don't think there's any sense in moving anybody down here. We're just going to fire in here and try and take these buggers out. So we have 4, 8, 12, 13 in direct fire. Or do we jump in there? Oh, would that be nasty? They've already activated, so they're not going to get first fire. Ah, I forgot to shoot back, didn't I? Who was a dickhead? I did it again. He was demoralized. He was disrupted. He was disrupted. He was demoralized. So when they fired back, they were firing for 2 and a bit. Let's just get that right. 2 and a bit. So really they were on the 1. They do have an undemoralized leader, so they go up 1. So they would have been on the 3 column, and that's about all they would have had. A 4 on the 3 column would have been an M1. Okay. So this guy and this guy would have been activated as well. My apologies. Okay, so an M1 on these guys. Okay. So the lieutenant is an 8, becomes a 7, becomes a 6 or less, and fails and is actually destroyed. Get rid of the activated off him, and he is gone to the graveyard. And that's their third step loss, which means their morale goes down by 1. Okay. An M1 here is a 9, becomes an 8 or less, passes, and an 8 or less passes. Okay. Well, we got rid of their leader. That makes it difficult for them. Right, so do we jump in here or do we shoot? If we jump in, we have 13. We have a leader, which would give us the 18 column. That's all we'd get. So we'd be on the 18 column. If we go for direct fire, we'd be on the 11 column, the 22 column because they're adjacent. So this is a 2x through to an M. 18 is 2, 2. 2, 1. Yeah, so again, the 2, 1, 1. 2, 2, 1. We're actually better off on the assault column, but that means we're moving out. Does that matter? No, it doesn't. So we are going to, they're not going to get first fire or anything. And they're going to be returning fire with bugger all. Let's do it. Righto, let's bring up our assault map. Grab number 2. Grab these blokes who are defending. Grab these blokes that are assaulting. Right. Oh, and this is what we've got. So on assault combat, we have 4, 8, 12, 13, plus 2. We're actually on the 24 column. No, it's not plus 2, it's plus 1 for the leader. So on the 18 column, we get a 6. On the 18th, M1. Okay. So the captain here, okay, so Australia M1. Done. These guys shooting back. Disrupted is a 2 halved and a 1 for a quarter, so that's 3, 4. So they're on the 3 column. All units have higher morale. If the demoralized unit is still full, so he's a 9, he becomes an 8. So yeah, he's higher morale than these guys, which are only 7s. So yeah, I wouldn't think that it counts, but yeah, okay. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4. So on the 3 column, they go up 1 for that. They go up 1 for their leader as a 9. They go up 1 more as a 13. And it's a 1-step loss. Jesus. Jap 1X. Righto. So we'll do these guys first. They've got a, that was an M2, wasn't it? Ah, an M1. The captain needs a 7 or less, passes. Disrupted guy needs a 9, is an 8 or less, passes. Demoralized guy is an 8, so needs a 8 or, sorry, 7 or less, passes. Righto, and we take a step loss. Again, all these guys are spotted. We take a step loss. So we flip here. Australians have now lost 2 steps, and that reduces their initiative to 1. We've taken a step loss, so our leader needs to take a leader loss. So again, a 3 or less. Nope, no leader loss, but we need to do an M2 for all of these people. So we have a 9 is a 7 or less, passes. A 6 or less, passes. A 7 or less, passes. Again, passes. And reduced guy is a 6 or less. Passes. We all passed. So that was, oh, hang on. It's an M2. Sugar. Hang on. Let's go back. Okay, so the first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So he was a 9, so that's a 7 or less, we rolled a 4. An 8 is a 6 or less, we rolled a 5. A 7 is a 5 or less, we got. A 5 or less, we got. This guy did not pass. He needed a 4 or less and got a 6, so he is disrupted. Yuck, 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 yuck. That's better. Okay. And they're done. Okay. Apologies. Right, so we've had 3 activations for everybody, so it's over to the Japanese, and they want to activate this stack down here, so Fog of War, and is fine. They're going to activate these guys here to move. think this is more important coming up this way at the moment. Nobody can do anything, so we will go to here for 1 because we're in light jungle, and up here for 2 for light jungle, and that is that, and into there, into there, into there, and we are done. The Australians don't have anybody else to really do anything with. The Japanese are done, and that is the end of that. So let's just, before we get rid of the counters, we'll go to the graveyard. Why they went up there, there. So they've lost 2, 3 steps. And then we go to the assault map. They've not lost any steps there. And they've not lost any steps there. So they're down 3 steps, that's correct. We are down 1 step there and 1 step there, 2 steps, and that's correct as well. So both sides have lost 1 initiative point. The Australians haven't lost any VPs yet because we still... Oh, no, we get more VPs to get. Hang on. Let's get this bloody right. I don't know where my brain is today, but it's not in a good spot. I think we pick up... We've had no step loss. No... We've had step losses as though for them. So the Australians get 1 VP for each Japanese step eliminated. So that's 3. So we go up 1, 2, 3 to 15. And they get 1 for each Australian step eliminated. So they go up to 2. And the rest of it is... Oh, hang on. It's 3. Looking at the... As you... 1 for each step eliminated. So, yep. So the Japanese get 2 victory points, and they get no VPs for airstrips or village at the moment. The Australians get 1 for each Japanese step eliminated, so they get 3. We have two for each village hex, which is 2, 4, 6, and 3 for each airstrip, which is 6. So yeah, 15 is good. Finally got there, being a total dickhead. Put that up to 330. So Australians down to initiative 1, Japanese down to initiative 2. We have 2 assaults going on, with a further assault looking like coming in here. Now the thing is that now, because this is light jungle, this lieutenant here can activate the Japanese in here, in Assault Hex 1, next turn. That's interesting. So that could be dangerous for the Australians in here. Here, we need to knock these Japanese out so we can get back into here. And this guy's just out wandering. If he comes out this way now, which is probably his best bet rather than coming back this way, he's going to be going into light jungle, so there's not going to be any disorientation or anything else. So that's where we stand. Again, apologies for the screw arounds. I think I picked up all the things I screwed. So we will call it quits there. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.